We are recording. This is Barry McDonnell, your mayor, and today I'm with Cathy Nickerson, who is our CFO. And then Cathy, I'll just give a quick bio. 32 years experience in local government finance, has been our CFO for the last 7 years here in Camas, has a bachelor's and master's degree in public administration, and is a certified government financial manager. Thank you for joining me today, Cathy. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. So we just had yesterday, Governor Inslee announced a stay-at-home order. Obviously, this is going to have a huge financial impact for us as a community, both as a city, small businesses, and then our community at large. I guess the first question I have is around reserve. So I know that the council has requested that we maintain a 2-month reserve. I believe we're double that with a 4-month reserve, or operation reserve. Can you kind of explain that, what that means, and what kind of financial position we're in right now?
We're in a unique position in that we were able to almost double our fund balance, and that was attributed mostly to the economy, as well as with all the building and construction that's going on, as well as the ability to attract a new business to the community, and more importantly, was just the working with the management team to restructure how we do our budgeting. And so the combination of all those things together put us in the position where we are today, with 4 months worth of reserves available, which is perfect timing for where we were at with this crisis. We were planning for a soft recession, and luckily, these reserves are where we need them today to weather this.
Well, I appreciate you maintaining those reserves and being strategic with how we save that money. And I know that you've also challenged a lot of our department heads to do some cuts right now, as well as we kind of evaluate and as we enter into these uncertainties. But I would imagine it's safe to say that we're probably in the strongest financial situation we've been in, which is positive in this situation. And when we say those operation reserves, that's basically like having a savings account that we can continue to pay for our employees and ensure that the services are up and running for that period of time. Is that what? That's what.
Yeah, it is exactly almost like a savings account. It's in our main account, if you will, and it's a higher balance that we're maintaining. Just like at home, you would have a savings account or keep extra money in your account just in case for those rainy days. A rainy day is upon us, and we have those available to us. It's not like capital, where it's more like those funds are more like a retirement account or something that's restricted, and the money that we have set aside in the fund balance is for essentially what we're talking about, a rainy day fund.
Which is good to have. And I know that you've been in touch with the banks as well, just assessing cash flow as well, or credit. It seems like we have about a $7 million credit limit currently. And again, things may change, but we're in a good position in that situation. And we have the ability, if we have immense expenses around maybe fire, EMS, or we have additional overtime, we have the ability to flex up in those kinds of situations, ensure that we're maintaining that coverage.
The $7 million is specifically for those reasons, for those times when we are either waiting for money from the state, or it's just a seasonal cash flow issue, or it's in these emergency situations.
And then when it comes to the community at large, especially now with this order from the governor to stay at home, this is going to have a significant impact on our small businesses or big businesses. It's going to have a significant impact on people's livelihoods. What are the resources out there? What are the supports? What can we do to help? And I know that you're on a lot of calls as well where this is being discussed, and you're talking to other agencies and other cities to try and understand what they're doing. I guess what information is out there, and how are we communicating that? And for people that may be having those kinds of issues or concerns, where are the places they should be going to find out the information?
Sure. It's the state association of businesses had a conference call yesterday, and they provided, they had a number of state agencies that serve small businesses, such as the Small Business Bureau, the Employment Security, L&I, which is Labor and Industries, as well as the Department of Commerce. And those, they had a lot of options available for small businesses that the state has come up with for federal for assistance, but they're also going to work with the U.S. Federal government for additional assistance and try to partner up to maximize those opportunities for our small businesses. And we put that the local on the state agencies on our website. In fact, we just did a few minutes ago, so that's available to anyone who has questions as a resource.
Great, and we'll keep that up to date as well as we get information or as we share that. I know that we're also documenting all of the expenses as well, and I know that you put it together a specific account to ensure that we're tracking all of the expenses that we have, so that when there is some federal resources or funds, we're able to quickly get that, and we're documenting that now so we can take full advantage of any of the support that we may be able to get from a federal.
Absolutely.
And then when it comes to expenses as a whole, I know that we just talked about we're managing those very closely, and we're being very careful as far as how we go into these uncertain times. We have some big projects out there as well. How is that going to affect some of those projects? And I'm thinking specifically around Brady Road and the roundabout as well. Again, uncertain times. So at this point, we don't know even if this is something that we're going to be moving forward with. We're evaluating things on a day-to-day basis. But from a financial standpoint, is that money that could be used somewhere else? Or can you kind of explain, I guess, some of the funding and the ways that we can use money and the ways we can't use money?
Sure, and those two projects are examples of capital projects that have funds that are tied specifically to the project. Where we had in Brady Road, there was a $6 million grant that could only be used for that project. It was applied to by the city to the state for Brady Road. And when the agency gave us the funds, it was specifically for Brady Road. Likewise, the same thing happened with Lake Road and Everett, the traffic circle there, or the roundabout. It's 3.3 million TIB money, Transportation Improvement Board money, and it can only be used for that project. So it's money that the city was given, like 9.3 approximately for both projects, that we don't have to pay back. So that they are specific for those projects. Likewise, there was a loan tied to the Lake and Everett project, and that was specific to that as well, as a low interest loan of 0.5%, and it can only be used for that project.
Got it. So those are specific loans for these projects that again, we're kind of in a holding pattern right now as we're trying to determine what is essential and non-essential, and really taking the lead from a state standpoint. And again, we're adjusting on a day-by-day basis. Each day we're having meetings, and obviously the finance is a big part of that as we discuss what we should be doing and what we're doing to just be as frugal as possible, and understanding that we're going into some very unknown times. I think it's these are unprecedented times. I mean, these are, and we're not alone in this situation. I believe, the entire world is going to be dealing with different aspects of this, but I do believe that we're going into it in a good, as good as could be. And we're going to be monitoring it on a daily basis and on an hourly basis as we kind of evaluate it. And again, I think that we will get through this. We will get through this. And sometimes it's just maintaining that perspective. I was talking to former Mayor Nan Henderson over the weekend, and she reminded me of, Camus going through the Spanish flu. Her father was 4 at the time, but we've been through tough times before. We've had different recessions. We had the recessions of the 20s. Camus was able to stay on top. We've in the recessions in the 70s. We had 2008. We've been through challenging times. I think we're going into this as best prepared as we can, and we'll continue to evaluate and make the best decisions for the community as a whole. But I think right now it's taking the lead from the state, and ensuring that we are doing everything that we can to lower this curve, and that minimize this pandemic as much as we can, because if we don't, I believe the financial costs of it are going to be even far more, and the cost, I think, to our community and to the people that are most vulnerable is even more significant. So I appreciate everything that you're doing on a day-to-day basis, in ensuring that we are being as smart as we can with the money, and we'll go from there. Anything else that you wanted to touch on, Cathy, or anything else you wanted to share?
Our staff is really pulling together to make sure that we're available in creative ways, if you will, so that they still always have a resource to get a hold of somebody at the city for those financial needs, as well as any questions they may have.
Yes, we're operating differently, and I appreciate your team's flexibility as we ensure that we're doing everything we can to protect the community and maintaining those social distances and staying at home. So thank you very much, Cathy, and we'll talk very soon. Appreciate it.
Okay, thanks. Have a great day.
You too.